Today we are breaking down how we shot 9 different looks in 10 hours. I don't know how we did it either. Everything with that spotlight mount, like it just really hit, and it's just so versatile. Like you can change the color, change the wardrobe, set design, completely different look. Same location, completely different look. So the problem that we were facing here was a low budget, and the problems that present themselves with a low budget basically just mean that you don't have enough time. You don't have enough time in terms of days of shooting and potentially not a lot of locations. The time that it actually will take to transition between location to location, that travel time, it just eats away at a really big chunk of your day. And if you are only shooting one day and you're going for 9 different looks, you're gonna wanna just stay in one spot. So the solution was basically to scale back the scope and think about ways we could be creative but on a budget. And when you think about this, you wanna think about efficiency being your best friend and the importance of transparency between the client and the filmmakers. If you don't have a lot of budget, a lot of this stuff might take a little bit longer than what you would normally expect. The time that things take usually increase when you have a less amount of people willing to help out, and just blatantly asking if they have ways to scale down their scope. Is there a possibility to decrease the deliverables? Is there a possibility to overlap certain things? My friend Kofi, who is a YouTuber, a lot of you guys probably know him, he was tasked to test out some gear for DJI and a couple other brands. So I thought that was a perfect opportunity to ask him to come on board, because Jordan Astra, who is the client, asked if I had capacity to create some visualizers for him, and I absolutely love working with Jordan. Sick dude, absolutely phenomenal music. Automatically I said yes, but I was also thinking logically and smart about what my resources were and like who I would want to maybe ask to get involved. Kofi needed content, Jordan needed content, and I'm like, let's maybe just collaborate and do it all together. Musicians and artists don't have a huge bag to drop on music videos, and really high quality music videos can be upwards of $10,000. Even $10,000 sometimes isn't enough. One of the solutions that we were thinking about is visualizers, and so this involves not shooting the entire length of the song, but it just involves shooting the most important parts, maybe the chorus, maybe the pre-chorus, essentially only sticking with one look for each song. And so Jordan presented 10 songs, and we were like, okay, what can we do in one full 10-hour day? The problem that we are trying to solve is basically how to shoot as many things as possible on a budget with a constrained amount of time. So let's talk about pre-production. At first, it was just Kofi, myself, and Jordan, and so we were brainstorming ideas from our saved posts or some previous reference storyboards and thinking about what kind of images that we genuinely want to create, knowing that this is somewhat of a spec and a lot of the people coming on board are volunteer. We wanted to make sure that the concept was aligned with like what we actually wanted to make or incorporate in our portfolios. And what we landed on was color. Color was our motivator in order to change the look and feel between each different song, but remain in the same location. Allowed us to pivot between different looks really quickly. So we're looking at wardrobe change, which takes less than 2 minutes, leaving the lights exactly where they are, and maybe just rigging everything, having everything built and set up, and then just changing which lights we are turning on and which lights we are changing colors. This allowed us to minimize the transition period between different songs. So each song we had about maybe 45 minutes to shoot, and our transition time was between 30 minutes and an hour, depending on how extensive the art design was. Because I was a cinematographer for this, I really wanted camera and lighting to be as simple as possible, and I wanted everything to be like rigged and ready top of day, so that it was just wheeling in something or wheeling out and letting art do their thing, having them be the priority of the shoot, because we really didn't have a lot to work with here. We have one white cyclorama, and it's a fantastic tool and resource, but it's blank, and it's like, how do you actually make this look significantly different 9 different times? So when we were doing this pre-production meeting, I pulled up Milanote, which is the tool that I use for literally all of my creative projects. This allows me to just visualize and kind of mind map all of the colors and different references that we want to use. There's so many different ways you can use Milanote, and I feel like each time that I see somebody else's Milanote board, it's like slightly different, or they use a different type of template. I honestly really like this like blank, clean canvas, and it's just a big mind map. I use arrows a lot, and I just group things in different areas to like categorize things. It's honestly really versatile. When you drop in a new board, you can choose from Milanote's templates. They have some under creative direction and film and TV. I mainly use the mood board one, I use the storyboard one, and I also use the pre-production one. This pre-production actually allows me to combine some of the logistical information and the creative information all in one location. As soon as I made this Milanote board, I shared it with Jordan and Kofi. I can share it with an editor link so that they are also able to add their own notes to the board. You can already see here how we separated each of the different songs. So we had a couple songs that were a little bit more funky, they were a little bit more high beat, and then we had some that were slower. We used color to really separate the feeling and the energy between these two different kinds of songs. Because color was a big motivator of this whole project, I used little color cards that are actually like based in Milanote. I just drag them and I can pick the color picker and click any of these like reference images that I have on the screen, and it'll give me whatever the hex color is. So this is a really good reference for wardrobe or for anyone who is doing art, because then they can see what colors we're leaning into, and if they have any props or wardrobe or styling pieces that will really enhance this color. I use the arrows a lot, and I also use tables. I'd encourage you to check out Milanote if you haven't already. Honestly, it's very popular right now, but it is a seriously great tool. I use it for everything that I shoot. Feel free to check out Milanote for your own creative projects. You can sign up for a free Milanote account using the link below in the description. Thank you to Milanote for sponsoring this video. It's so cool that I have a sponsored video now, like crazy. Now we're going to talk about gear. We were using the red Raptor and the red Komodo X. The red Raptor was on the Dana Dolly, and we were using Nisi Athena lenses. We were also using the new DJI LiDAR system. This was on the Dana Dolly, and so I didn't have a focus puller, which was really crazy. To be able to pull focus on Cine Glass without having to pay a first AC is honestly really beneficial, but it doesn't negate the fact that you might actually still need a first AC. RJ was very helpful between both Kofi and I, and we wouldn't have been able to make our day without him. So, but the LiDAR system did hold up pretty well. Like I would say maybe 80% of the time. There was 20% where we were using a specific blue color, like a purple color, and it really just did not like that. It wasn't able to like find contrast within the image. So if you're using lights and it's really just one color and you're not like mixing colors, it can't really differentiate where the distance is. I think at one point I was just pulling off the barrel because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't have a first AC, so it's always, again, good to have someone there to help you. I use the DJI RS4 gimbal, and Kofi was operating that one, and I was on the Dana Dolly. For our wireless, we were also using the DJI wireless transmission, and we were able to stream the Raptor's image to a big director's monitor, which is like a big TV. Definitely not color accurate by any means, but it was just a good source of reference so that Jordan, the artist, could also like see what was going on while he was in the frame. And usually we wouldn't suggest doing this because it can be very distracting to talent if they can see what they look like on camera. But because Jordan was involved with the creative direction, I think it was a smart move just so that he could kind of have the final like approvals. For post-production on the shoot, we had Jordan Astra actually edit this, but we had another Jordan from the Vanity. She colored this. If you are interested in how we color graded this, we had Jordan from the Vanity do so, and we have an entire breakdown available on YouTube. You can click anywhere on the screen. I'm gonna link it here, but it basically breaks down the entire process of working with a professional colorist. In conclusion, being super efficient with your time, your communication, making sure that all of the departments are kind of under the same understanding about being realistic about our time and about the expectations that we're setting for ourselves. I would much rather decide, okay, let's go big or go home, but I also want to make sure that we actually still do meet our day, and I'm a really big advocate for not pushing volunteers past the 10+1 hour or whatever you had promised. You gotta be transparent about how much time you need for camera and for lighting setup. Art department also has to be transparent about how long their set design setup will take. And I think there also has to be a communication between us and the client, especially because it was somewhat of a spec project, that things need buffer time and we may not get all of the things that we want, but we will get a lot of it. And so with like optimistic energy and like positivity and communication, we were actually able to do this. And I think it really, again, goes back to the Milanote board and going through each specific concept and like scaling the scope way down. We had no set design for a lot of them, and I think that played a really good role in saving a lot of time. But again, we leaned into color and color theory and really tried to make each song look and feel really different and have intention behind all of those looks. Super grateful and happy that all of this is out and will slowly be getting released soon. Lots of new music coming from Jordan Astra. Please feel free to go and check out the credits below with all the people and companies that were involved with this project. Like this video if you also use Milanote, and if you don't already, please consider making an account and it will make your life a lot easier. Subscribe for more behind the scenes content like this. I will be releasing a fly on the wall style behind the scenes video next week. And as well, feel free to follow along on TikTok. I post daily on there with filmmaking tips and behind the scenes. I'm so interested to know which look is your favorite. I don't know, I like ice cold, but I like everything with that spotlight mount. Like, it just really hit, and it's just so versatile. Like, you can change the color, change the wardrobe, set design, completely different look. Same location, completely different look. So I don't know, tell me I'm wrong. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.